If you're looking for some of the highest quality fishing in the UK and want to be a part of an exceptionally well-run and friendly club, then tucked up in the north of Wales and offering over 16 miles of the beautiful River Dee is the Corwen District Angling Club, or CADAC for short.
I mean, the CADAC beach has got some of the prime waters. You've got fantastic salmon run. The Sea Trout run is phenomenal. But I think the Dee is synonymous Europe-wide with the Grayling. And that's what brings you back time and time again, is the quality of the Grayling fishing. But people forget as well, the salmon fishing is fantastic, the Sea Trout fishing, and the brown trout. The biggest I've heard of, and I know there's bigger than that, but is a 5-pound wild brown trout fish. Now that's a fish of a lifetime.
This river offers many challenges if you are fishing for any one of the species in this river, but we still keep coming back as anglers, and there's that much water to try, you'll never get fed up.
The river itself is a fantastic place to be. I mean, we've got some of the most wonderful countryside all along our stretches of river, stretching right up nearly up to Ballaway, and I think everyone's got to agree it's a fantastic bit of countryside.
The club was formed, we think, in the 50s. There's no actual record, and it's grown from maybe 100 people maximum. We're now in the realms of 400 people and growing. There's two packages. There's the trout and grayling package, and that at the moment is £90, and they can fish all day every day for a 12-month period for that, or they can go for the salmon, sea trout, trout and grayling package, which is exactly double at £180.
In fact, it's very good value considering how much water there is. And that's a 12-month annual ticket. That's 3 trips to Rutland, and you've got a full year's fishing.
The club does offer really good value. We've got, I think it's up to 16 miles nearly of river now, from fast water to slower, deep water. But I think what it is, it's the friendship of the club. It's an extremely friendly club. We have various activities going on during the year, such as casting practices, bank work, which is a great way to really find out all about the club waters, to contribute to the club, and to also meet some which are probably the best fishermen on the river, who come along and help get the banks in good order so that it makes it pleasant for everyone else to fish.
Fishing the rivers is different for me because it's pleasure time. It's quiet, you, the river, nature.
Previously I'd been a still water trout fisherman, but you know, the fishing on the river, totally different, much more exciting, much more challenging.
I think there's a apprehension from some of the stillwater anglers that it can be quite technical. Getting to know the rivers themselves, getting to know the techniques, the fly patterns, know what to use, when to use it. But having said that, you can't get much simpler than a single dry, and a lot of us do that on the stillwaters anyway. Target a rising fish with a dry fly and then catch it is something special about it, particularly on a fly you've tied yourself. Whether it's be so simple as an F-fly. There's something inside you that just keeps you there, and you want to keep fishing. You want to get that next take, that next fish.
There is no other way of catching fish than with a dry fly. That's the beauty of everything. If you can see a fish rise and you can fool it to take your fly, you have done everything perfectly correct. Obviously, they're not always feeding on the top, and that's why as a river angler you've got to be able to understand and have a working knowledge of all the other techniques. The French leader isn't the be-all and end-all. It's a method that you would use. It was originally started in France years ago to fish very, very shallow water for really spooky trout. Nowadays it's evolved and it allows us to fish really fast water without having to get into it. Right, there's been a lot talked about and written about French leader. Let me just give you a basic run through. First of all, it's a very, very, very long tapered leader. That's basically number one. Then, what you have at the end of the tapered leader are these. Just indicators, different colours, different beads like that. You can do it in different nylon if you wanted orange and red. There's loads of different ones on the market, but at the end of your long tapered leader, you have this indicator bit at the end. What that is you cast it out and you just watch these. Any stop, any movement in this, you have to strike. At the end of that, we've got a very, very small micro ring. And then, business end, what you do, depending on depth of water, clarity of water, could be 2 flies, could be 3 flies. Today I'm fishing with 2 flies. Small little pheasant tail on the top dropper. And the most important thing, depending on the speed, the depth and that, you have to change the weight of the point fly, but the most important thing, always on the point fly, use a jig fly. The reason is that it always rides upside down along the bottom of the river. So you don't get snagged up in the rocks, you don't get snagged up in the weed, and that's how simple it is. French leader, cast it up, well not cast actually, you're really lobbing it up. Don't, most important thing when you're fishing a French leader is not to flick it in the back cast. Roll it behind you, really throw it forward in front of you, then lift up. The beauty with it is because the tapered leader is so light, you can just keep everything off the water, so there's no drag of the current that affects your flies. Keep everything above. That indicator tip, then just track it down along. And the great thing as well is that you can throw this 15 yards, you can go 20 yards, you get really experienced, you can really chuck it across the river, and then you're safe because you don't have to wade into the fast current to fish the back eddy on the other side. You can just stand on this side of it, throw it back, really lob it up, and then just lift everything above. The other important thing is the rod. You do need a 10 foot, and it's got to be a class 3, class 4, really light, because you've got no weight to load the rod. It's got to be a soft action rod so it propels your flies out. So that's the French leader. Simple, easy, throw it out, watch it, when it stops, hit it, it's on.
We did look last year actually at the demographics of the membership, and it's great to see, you know, they're from all over the country, and I've been fortunate enough, as I say, to have nearly 40 years of enjoyment on this river, and it's great that my little piece of river, if you like, is enjoyed by so many from far and wide. We're also very lucky in as we've got a great committee. And without the help and dedication of these individuals, this club couldn't be run.
Well, joining the club is very easy. We've got a good website, which anybody seeking to fish on the River Dee would come across that website quite easily. It's very informative.
And if you're actually stuck and wondering where to go, and you want that information of the river heights or the river levels, what's happening at a certain time, then pick up the phone or drop an email or go on the CADAC forum. It's a wealth of information. There's not one angler that will turn around and say, I'm not telling you. Everyone will give you information.
So yeah, we as a club, we're very active in terms of communicating with members via social media, via a forum which we have as well, and the guys interact and share experiences.
I love the club. You know, the members are great. They really are great.
heaven on earth. To a river angler, it doesn't get better than this. Brilliant brown trout, brilliant grayling, fantastic sea trout, and great salmon. What else do you need?